There are times in life when everything seems to shift, not because of something huge or dramatic, but because of a quiet moment, a small decision, or someone unexpected walking into your world. This is one of those times for the Waltons. It begins with Miss Hunter, the schoolteacher the kids have grown to love, leaving suddenly. Her sister's been in an accident, and without warning, she's off to New York. That leaves the school in Walton's Mountain without a teacher. And John Boy, still just a teenager, stepping in to fill the gap, at least, until a replacement can be found. John Walton doesn't take this lightly. He calls a school board meeting. Serious faces around a weathered table, voices low with concern. They need someone now. And just when it seems like the school might have to close its doors for good, a name surfaces, Miss Megan Pollard. A young woman, fresh off the bus from New York. No experience, no references, but willing to come and willing to try. There's just one problem: money. The school can't pay much. So John does what any decent man would do. He offers her room and board at the Walton house. When John Boy goes to pick her up at the bus station, he's not sure what to expect. What he gets is a puzzle. Miss Pollard is polite, too polite, reserved, dressed neatly, hair pinned just so, but there's something in her eyes, a guardedness. Back at the house, Grandma puts it best: I can't tell if she's old trying to look young, or young trying to look old. She moves into John Boy's room and almost immediately closes the door, not just physically, but emotionally. She eats alone, keeps to herself, doesn't join the family at the table. And when she steps into the classroom, well, things don't get any easier. She's strict, very strict. Rules posted on the chalkboard like commandments. No tardiness, no whispering, no slouching. She rearranges the schedule, cancels recess, insists on silence between lessons. The children, used to Miss Hunter's warmth, her patience, don't respond well. They grow tense, restless, confused, one by one. They start staying home. Parents talk. Worries spread. Another school board meeting is called, this time not to find a teacher, but to keep one. John tries to speak with Miss Pollard. He wants to understand. Instead, she hands him her resignation. I'm not what they need, she says quietly. But John can't accept it. There's no one else. Then, something shifts. Late one evening, John Boy, still wrestling with the story he's just had rejected, again, does something bold. He knocks on her door, asks if she'll read it. She does, and when she's finished, she looks at him, not unkindly, but honestly, and says, I was embarrassed for you. She means it as helpful criticism. She suggests he study Emerson, serious essays, disciplined prose, real writing. But here's the thing about John Boy Walton. He doesn't write to impress. He writes to feel. And her words, though sharp, cut through the noise. In that moment, he's never been more certain. His truth lies in emotion, in connection, in the messy, tender, truthful parts of life. And something in her cracks open, too. Because John Boy, without meaning to, has touched something she's buried deep. Grief, loss, the memory of her father, a respected educator, a man she admired fiercely, who passed away before she ever earned his approval. She studied endlessly, excelled in school, did everything right, but his praise, that never came. And so, she stopped letting herself feel, stopped letting anyone in. Olivia Walton, ever watchful, ever kind, notices tears under the door late one night. She doesn't knock, she waits. Then she speaks, soft, maternal, full of grace. God didn't give people two arms to hold each other apart. And Megan, after a long silence, opens the door. Admits she's only 24. Admits she's been trying to prove herself to a ghost. Olivia doesn't offer advice. She offers a hug. And for the first time in a long time, Megan lets herself be held. The next morning, she comes downstairs, sits at the table, eats breakfast with the family, and at school, she walks in not with a new rule book, but with humility. She turns to the students, looks them in the eye, and says, "Let's start over. Pretend it's my first day." The children, wary at first, slowly smile. One raises a hand, another laughs. The chalkboard stays clean. The schedule? Back to how Miss Hunter left it. And the classroom at last breathes again. But this episode isn't only about Megan. It's also about Ben, restless, proud, determined to build a kite for the town's flying contest. Grandpa Zeeb offers to help, seasoned hands, decades of know-how. Ben says yes, but stiffly. He doesn't want help, he wants to do it his way. Then Jason steps in, younger, clever, full of new ideas, and shows Ben another way to build a kite. Stronger, lighter, more aerodynamic. Ben's frustration boils over. He snaps at both of them, slams his tools down. At school, Miss Pollard, still finding her footing, makes a tough call. She moves him down from 6th grade to 5th. Not as punishment, but because she sees he's struggling, not with the work, but with himself. That night, John sits with him on the porch. No lecture, just quiet understanding. "A kite," he says, "flies best when it's built the way you believe it should be, not the way someone else thinks it ought to be." And Ben? He listens. The next day, he finishes Grandpa's kite. He builds Jason's design too, careful, precise. Then, from behind the workbench, he pulls out his kite. Not perfect, not textbook, but his. And when he runs across the field, string in hand, wind catching the paper, it lifts. It soars, not because it's the best built kite in the contest, but because it's true. And in the end, that's what this episode is really about. Truth, connection, the courage it takes to lower your guard, to say I'm not okay, to ask for a second chance. Megan Pollard didn't come to Walton's Mountain to teach school. She came, though she didn't know it yet, to remember how to be human. And the Waltons? They didn't take her in to solve a problem. They opened their door. Because that's who they are. Family isn't just blood. Sometimes it's a shared meal at the table. A story handed across a doorway, a kite flying unevenly, but flying free. Pause. Soft music swells. Good night, John Boy.